Cocoa is the fourth foreign earner for this country, and it supplies up to 100,000 households that are involved in it. And right now it is one of those crops that is almost rivaling coffee rather, in terms of the per kilogram pricing. It's just that it needs to be better mainstreamed. It needs to have better quality assessments for it to attain its potential. My name is Daphne Bitalo, and I'm a geneticist. I'm focusing on cocoa fermentation and harnessing microorganisms that can be used as a starter culture to create controlled fermentation in Uganda. We are going to use these starter cultures to help the smallholder farmer in Uganda to be able to do fermentation on farm, to increase the prices that they get from the exporter, to be able to include the females as well that are usually excluded when fermentation is done at bulking sites, but also to ensure that we have very good quality cocoa that can generate the best chocolates that we can get out of a product. Been a chocolate addict for as long as I can remember, but what was interesting for me is that when National Coffee Research gave me the job and I saw, oh, cocoa, I thought, oh, chocolate. Then I get there and I realize there is more science to actually getting to a piece of chocolate, and that's when I learned about what fermentation is. I'd never seen a cocoa plant, and I realized how much work goes into it, and so my interest was piqued even more, and even more when I found out that the actual farmers that do this growing and fermentation had never had a piece of chocolate. Fermentation is a key contributor to the actual flavor you get when you consume chocolate. However, this process takes long. So challenges like the time duration, the exclusion of females in the fermentation process, and they will never know what kind of product comes out of the cocoa that they have harvested. We've also had issues with accessing some of the farms because of how hilly the terrain is. For some of the districts like Bundibujo, for instance, it being a border neighboring district, we have insurgencies of insecurity, we have the refugee status, and so all of this culminates into issues that lead to farmers having an inability to do their fermentation on farm. What we have seen in lab is that we get 90% uniform fermentation. We get a reduction in that fermentation time from 8 to 4 days. What we find is that when it is controlled, you lessen the time frame, you reduce the costs that are going to be involved in that long fermentation process. And so when we go out and validate this in the fields, we expect that this should draw in more farmers to want to do fermentation on their farms, and allowing the inclusion of females, because now the females will be seeing this on their farms. I'm driven by the fact that I want to grow as a scientist, and growth as a scientist, as is expected, is you publish, you get more grants, you do more research work. But I'm looking forward to the growth that is me involving myself in community work, in policy recommendation or policy advisory type of roles, and engaging with community.